feel like many times we go through life, just either existing or trying to make sure that everything's in our control. And recently, that's how I've been going through life. And I was talking to God and explaining to him about how I felt like I feel so burned out. I feel so drained. And I told him, I'm like, maybe this is just, the end of the year thing, because I've had burnout like 3 years in a row from school, right? So I was just like, maybe this is just my end of the year burnout. But then I thought about it, and I haven't had any super hard courses or anything really. And so I realized that my burnout wasn't coming from school or just life in general. My burnout was coming from just me trying to put everything in my control. And I have a tendency, if you're anything like me, we have a tendency to be very detail oriented and control freaks. And I believe that it comes from a good place. It comes from a place of just wanting to make sure everything's okay. But a lot of the times in our own lives and in other people's lives, we play God. And so when we do that, we're very limited because we're not God. God is limitless, but we're very limited when we pretend to be him or play roles that he usually does without asking for his help or for his favor. And so I just found that I've been burned out just simply by all the times I've tried to take control of my life in areas that simply weren't in my control. And I wonder how God looks at us when we do that. I wonder, to me, I feel like he looks at us with pity, I wish you knew that this wasn't your battle. I wish you knew this wasn't your fight. And the Bible verse of this today was that Jesus traded his life for our peace, right? And that part stuck out to me so much. I don't know if it's that he traded his life for our peace or I don't know what, but it just really hit me because I was like, wow, Jesus really died for us to be able to have unlimited peace, and yet a lot of us are just walking in life in complete chaos. And it's a shame. I actually have the Bible verse right here. It says, it's Isaiah 53 verse 5. And it says, but he was pierced for our rebellion, crushed because of our iniquities. Punishment for our peace was on him, and we are healed by his wounds. So yeah, that punishment for our peace part stuck out to me because Jesus was literally punished so that we can have access to peace every single day. And I realized that not only was I allowing the devil to torment me, but I was also allowing myself and coming into agreement with that torment. Sometimes the reason why things continue is because we're actually in full agreement with it and we don't realize it. And so I went on a walk today and the wind was blowing, and God has been speaking this word of a new wind to me. And I was just telling him, I said in one of my past videos that God told me to make a list. So list out all my problems and then list what's in my control and what's out of my control. And so ever since I did that exercise, I've just been finding that a lot of the things that I worry about, that I allowed to consume me and bother me and ruin my days, are just simply not in my control. And right now where I live, it's the springtime, so the sun is out, the flowers are blossoming. It is completely beautiful. It's gorgeous. All the butterflies are coming back. And so this is my favorite time of the year. It's always just a time full of peace. But lately I've been so tormented that I haven't been able to go on a walk. I haven't been able to bask in the beauty of nature. I just haven't been enjoying it, right? And I was talking to God a lot about how I didn't feel like myself. I felt so out of body. I just felt like everything that I once loved, it's just no longer here. I don't have any form of fun. I just feel like a slave to the world. And today just reminded me that he received the strongest, the highest extent of punishment so that we can have peace. And I'm like, well, if I can have peace, where is it? And God said, you already have it. All you have to do is receive it. You have full access to it. You have direct access to me without a boundary put in place. You have direct access to peace. And so this is just a reminder to anybody who's just struggling, feeling it's so beautiful outside, or feeling like life is supposed to feel so good right now and everybody around me is happy and I don't know why I'm not happy. This is just a reminder to access that peace that's so readily available to you. Life is too short, and I know that's corny, but life is too short bills are too high, inflation is too crazy for us to sit here and continue to torment ourselves. The world is doing everything in its power to make sure that we're tormented from every end. But we have the choice. The world can torment us in every way, but we have the authority over our minds. And that's what they don't want you to know. They don't want you to know that you're in full control of how you feel. And I used to hate when people said that quote, happiness is a choice, because I'm like, well, if everything is going wrong around you, it's actually very hard to stay happy. But what they mean by happiness is a choice is we can choose to focus on everything around us that's going wrong, or we can choose to look at the little few things, even if it's the tiniest thing that's going right. And an example of that is yesterday I was having the worst day, so I went and bought myself like a sub, a drink, 2 cookies, and I asked for chocolate chip cookies. And I'm a very picky eater, so I literally can't eat things that I don't want. So they gave me white chip macadamia cookies, and I hate those cookies. Like, I hate anything that's not chocolate chip. And so I only figured that out once I left the area, and then I had to get to school, so I was like, I can't even go back and tell them they gave me the wrong one. And I was just like, isn't it just like life? I'm already kicked down, beat up, and I buy myself something to make myself feel better, and my order is wrong. And so at first I was just like, this is just my luck. But then I went to class, and this girl was sitting beside me, right? And I was like, do you like this, and this cookie? And she's like, these are my favorite cookies. And so I'm like, here you go. Like, I don't want these cookies. I don't know what to do with them. And so she was like, thank you so much. And I could just see so much gratitude in her eyes. And it reminded me that one person's curse is another person's blessing. And so even though that day was going horribly wrong, and I could have found every excuse for why that day just wasn't a good day, something as small as blessing somebody in that way made my day. It made me super happy to see that even though I didn't want it, it was something that she really needed, right? And so just look for the joy in the day, because guys, the days are way too short and life is way too stressful for us to be stressing ourselves on our free time. So just take it easy. I hate when people say that to me, but just take it easy and keep doing the best you can. Just show up. And if you doing the best you can is simply you waking up, then that's the best you can do. If you doing the best you can is simply you dropping your kids off to work or going to school, then good on you. Do the best that you can.